Hello, this is Maxwell, part of the Semantic Structured Information Project, along with Alex, Jason, and Nick, to create an optical recognition software, also known as OCR. The OCR takes in a picture format, such as JPEG, PNG, or PDF, and runs it through Tesseract to read the picture and display it as plain text. In this video, we'll be going over these features as well as what was added in iteration 2. So let's suppose there's a guy named Jonathan who wants to research the speech between two countries, this speech being a part of the United Nations. The United Nations distributes the speech for others to use, and Jonathan wants to be able to manipulate the text and analyze the data, whether it be speakers or which year the speech was from, and so he decides to load up the OCR. Once Jonathan opens the OCR, he'll be greeted to import a file and then convert the file. Currently, this window is called main window, but that is planned to be changed. So, Jonathan will look in his computer for the file he wants to look at. In this case, we will look at the General Assembly second plenary meeting. As seen before, it is uncategorized, but for now, we'll convert it. As seen before, this will take a while, so I'll cut ahead. Jonathan's document then loads up, and he can read it as much as he wants. As proof of concept, we can see that the document that Jonathan submitted is completely accurate, or at least mostly accurate. If Jonathan wants to use the text outside of the OCR, he can download the database and download the plain text, which will save as the name of the original file, and then he can read it or manipulate it outside of the OCR. Inside the text document, it shows an end page, which does not display in the main window, and in a little bit, I'll show why that is the case. Currently, the database does not display. That is planned for iteration 3, same for the visualizer. You may have also noticed that some of the text did not scan properly, and that's because the OCR has difficulties reading certain font with certain words. However, we plan to implement a spell check, sort of autocorrect, that will be able to detect words that may not be correct and make them to what they probably are. And this will help clarify some words that just don't display correctly. There may be cases where that just doesn't really help, but it should help for certain words. If Jonathan loads up a larger document, such as the General Assembly first plenary meeting, we can see that Jonathan can scroll through the multiple pages. Keep in mind, this document is over 10 pages long, but the OCR loads it in just fine. If we download this document, the reason the OCR runs the end pages is so that somebody like Jonathan knows where each page ends inside the text document. Something that is otherwise not very visible in a text document. So Jonathan can load up things in English, but can he also load up things in other languages? And the answer to that is yes. We'll load up a sample picture. It's a French picture that's not necessarily a United Nations document, but we'll still show what this actually does. So, as you can see, we have a translation. If we load up the actual document, or in this case, picture, we can see that the French correctly translate to English, except for the bottom right corner and frangles instead of français. It should be French. But otherwise, everything else translated correctly. Again, spell checking will help with little things that could be wrong with this translation, but otherwise, this is an accurate translation. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a better understanding of how this application works, as well as I hope Jonathan was able to learn what he needed to and was able to download everything correctly.